Guys, who wants to be on YouTube? Your legs all right? This guy's I'm good. He's on YouTube. Thank God there's no class. Guys, we are working from scoring from the top for the last 2 weeks of the month. Scoring from the top primarily involves some form of guard pass. There are rare exceptions where you can take them out of the guard entirely and then do things to them, but most of the time you need to pass your guard in some kind of way. And when we are standing and we're passing, which is the highest percentage way to passing these guard, they're going to be in one of two seated postures. The first seated posture is going to be a symmetrical butterfly with his hands on the inside, right? So here, this is a really difficult posture for me to penetrate, right? So like it's really difficult for me to like step in and try to knee cut. He automatically has inside position with both of his legs. From here, you can start to wrestle up and stuff like that. And, like, there's so many different things that he could do from here. This posture has a few negatives. The first negative is that there's no post behind him. So if I push him or if I lift his ankles, he's going to fall. The second negative of this is movement. Mike, don't post your hand on the floor and just follow me, okay? At some point, I'm going to be faster than him, and at some point, I'm going to be able to take a position on him, right? So that's idea number one. Idea number two, his posture, if he puts a hand behind his back, now things change, right? So now he's going to be asymmetrical, okay? Now one of his legs is going to have more weight than the other leg. Now from here, it's really much better to move. Like Joey, you can really chase people, like start to chase me. He could really chase me and really close the distance really, really well, for example, from here, right? But one negative is that he lost one of his arms. He only has one arm to grip. Whereas from a symmetrical posture, like people hit arm drags from here, right? People can get 2-on-1s from here, things like that, right? So from that position, right, where he has one hand behind his back, he no longer has the ability to go for strong 2-on-1s and things like that, right? But I can go as fast as I can, but he can always use that hand to spin, and he can use that hand to follow me. Now, there's a right and wrong arm to pose depending on where I'm going. So at this moment, okay, if I'm traveling towards my left, he wants to have his right hand behind his back, right? Because that's how he's facing me. If he has his left arm behind his back, okay, and he tries to follow me, then I have openings on him and I can hit body locks on him and I can take his back, things like that. So I know that, so I'm going to use a prediction to be one step ahead of him. Okay, so what am I talking about? So when I'm here, I'm going to be just like this. I'm going to start to walk towards the arm that I want him to pose, knowing which hand he's going to have up. Okay, so as I start to travel this way, I already know that he's going to be posting that hand. So when I'm ready, I'm going to make a grip on his top wrist, just like this. Now, in one shot, I'm going to step my leg in. My elbow is going to go close to his face, and I'm going to bring my elbow right underneath his armpit. This is a wrestling move on how to capture an underhook. When I let go of it, my hand is going to go right onto the small of his back, just like this. Okay, now I have three big options. Option number one is I can connect my hands by his ear. Option number two is I can connect my hands around his ribcage. The best option, though, is using this hand as a feeder to go for the handcuff. Okay, now that I have the handcuff, now Mike starts to pass and starts to move around. He lost all mobility, okay, I can take a very easy pass, and then I can keep the handcuff indefinitely. And furthermore, from here, if he has this whizzer, it's impossible for him to escape. There's no way that he's going to be able to do anything with that whizzer or that over. Mike, start to roll with me from here. There's just not much that he can do, right? Especially with that whizzer. So for him, he's going to take it out himself. And as he takes it out himself, that gives me a clear passage to now spin and go to his back. Right? Now that I'm on his back, now I can start to chase his neck, now I can trap his arm, I can do a lot of different things, right? So his overhook, his whizzer, is going to be pretty much useless, all right? And he's going to have to use it as a frame, giving me pretty much a free back take anytime that I want, all right? So again, let's say we're in a symmetrical position. Okay, so I'm going to predict what I'm going to do. So Tarek, I'm going to go this way, already anticipating that he's going to be posting that hand. So as I go this way, as he posts, in one shot, I step in and I close the distance, all right? My shoulder is right in front of his armpit, I take my underhook. Let's say I did a body lock there. So you pick, I can keep my hand right over here, I can put this hand underneath, and now look, I can put my chest directly on top of my hand. Mike, would the weak is it? Alright, that's going to get us some nice views and I can take my pass. So I'm literally taking the air out of him because this is where his lungs are. So if I can place my hand where his lungs are, I can take my chest over my own hand and I can put a weight on him, alright? My friend is going to look like that, right? So I'm joking around, but it's also serious, right? If you're going against a really tough competitor, you're going somebody that's spazzing, that's going wild, sometimes do this to them and then that's going to slow them down and then you can continue to roll on your terms anytime you want to, okay? Or the easiest one, especially for the newer students, is I go towards that side. Okay, when I'm ready, I take it out, I step myself in. The easiest is just control the head and arm and take a free 3 points. All right, now we got 3. Then you can go for your knee on belly, mount, things like that in a little bit. All right, let's get it started. Guys, so let's clean up the part 1 and then let's add a really simple some really simple ideas to the part two. So the part one, like we have a bunch of really good wrestlers here, but if Mike and I are wrestling, like the biggest error that I see in wrestling, you know, when somebody tries to take a shot, is they don't change their level, all right? They just slam their knee into the floor and they try to grab the legs. It looks like this, here, all right? From here, I don't have the good ability to pick him up, and then he can easily sprawl on me, and then now I'm just going to be pancaked up, right? So in wrestling, there's something that they call changing the levels, where I have to squat and I got to get my hips underneath his. The reason I'm getting my hips underneath his, it's like a forklift, right? So if I go under his, now I can lift him up, right? So that's why it's really important that I need to really take a deep squat. Now my front leg has to penetrate it. Now look, it's really simple and easy to lift somebody up, right? Because I was able to get underneath them, right? And then it's going to be a little harder for them to sprawl on me, and I'm a little bit deeper in on that, right? It's the same exact thing here. This is actually like a double leg shot, right? So what some of us have been doing, right, as I'm cutting the corner and I'm circling towards my left, is when I'm ready to step in, you're a little too high, all right? Now your knee's going like that, you know? But simultaneously, you have to do a squat, okay? And then after your squat, then your knee penetrates, right? So again, I'm in front of them, I'm pushing them a little bit, right? When I'm ready to rock, I'm going, and now I take a grip, and now look how I really lower my level, okay? Now, there should be even no space for his hook to come in. You see, it's going to be difficult, right? Now, in one motion, I'm going right over here. Now, it has to be a little bit of quick, right? But let's talk about something. Let's say I start to go for the head, all right? I'm trying to go for the handcuffs, and I get the pass. Mike, your job is going to be to turtle whichever way as soon as I hit the pass. Okay, ready, go. Man, all right, maybe something like this can happen. Or maybe, you know, I'll even pass, and then from the pass, he'll squirm to get to turtle, things like that. We see this very often in ADCC, all right, where in ADCC, like I need to get chest to chest, I got to flank him to score my points. And turtle does not score, right? If I pass and he turtles, I only get an advantage, right? So sometimes turtles are going to be possible, especially if they're squirming, maybe they're going to get their elbows, whatever. There's going to be many factors. So instead of going for a body lock, instead of going for a cross face, instead of going for the handcuffs, by the way would be really, really good, but some not always easy to get. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to go over the top and I'm going to grab the chin strap. Because if I can open up his neck and hit my pass and then spawn him, Mike, go to turtle, he cannot, all right? And this is such a good position. First of all, if I grab his shoulder, and if I separate his chin from his shoulder, this is like a one-handed guillotine. Second of all, I can always use this to put him onto a side, and I can always transfer to nice darces. I can always look to spin around him and start to chase the back on the other side and finish with backsides. I have such a strong position, he can't move, he's going to be stuck. At the very least, I get 3 points. At the very most, I can get whatever else I want. Depends on my game, depends on the moves that I like. All right, so again, when I'm entering, I'm just going to choose to get an underhook and a chin strap simultaneously. Okay, now it's going to be so difficult for him to get anything. You have to grab the chin with your hands, all right? Literally grab the chin, you got to open their chin to separate their head from their shoulder, all right? So I'm here in front of them, symmetrical stance. Okay, I'm pushing them a little bit. They're trying to chase me. I start to cut, and as I cut, I step in, and in one shot, I'm going straight for the chin. All right, Mike, start to move. Pass is right here. 1, 2, 3, I got my points. Maybe I'll get a tap, all right? If not, again, I could always relinquish it, get chest to chest, regular standard side control, and then call it a day, okay? Also, notice how I'm making my body big, right? If I'm lengthening my body, the more surface area I can cover, the heavier I'm gonna be, all right? A lot of your students, they take side control like this, and then they get pushed out very easily. You just wanna spread yourself as much as possible. Because when you're really, really wide, it's gonna be hard to get rolled over, it's gonna be hard for them to bridge or do much of anything at all. Cool? Let's finish with this, guys, and add your own twist to it. Add something that you like from the sequence. All right?